On Tuesday morning, West Asia witnessed another historic moment. A direct flight from Israel landed in Riyadh. It was the first ever Israeli flight to land in Saudi Arabia. This is the latest in a series of indications on how the Jewish state and the Islamic kingdom are silently but steadily formalizing their relations. For quite some time now, the two countries have been making such symbolic moves. In September last year, for instance, when the Abraham Accords were signed, Saudi Arabia opened its airspace for Israel. It allowed Israeli planes to fly over the country. Then in November, reports emerged that the Saudi Crown Prince met Israel's then Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the city of Neom in northwest Saudi Arabia. Riyadh denied that the meeting took place, as did Israel. Now they seem to have dropped the pretense, though. Just look at the pace of developments. On Monday, a direct flight from Saudi Arabia landed in Tel Aviv, and today, a private jet from Israel landed in Riyadh. 2 flights in 2 days. How do we perceive this? What are these countries up to? Well, they won't tell. Officially, they're still adversaries, with no diplomatic or economic ties. No matter who has been in power on both sides, the ties have never been formalized. The Saudis have expressed the desire for a reset on some occasions, but Israel's never-ending rift with Palestine and the constraints of public opinion have stopped them from initiating the process. As you know, Saudi Arabia is considered the de facto leader of the Islamic world. It's where Islam was born. It's where the holiest sites in Islam are located. This has given the kingdom a symbolic standing, an importance which is unparalleled. Riyadh remembers this at all times. If it were to openly embrace Israel, there will most certainly be a backlash. It could dent its undisputed standing in the Islamic world. There are at least 15 Islamic countries that continue to ban both direct flights and overflying traffic to and from Israel. That's Afghanistan, Algeria, Bangladesh, Brunei, Iraq, Kuwait, Lebanon, Libya, Malaysia, Morocco, Oman, Pakistan, Qatar, Somalia and Tunisia. 15 countries. These are all countries that hold Saudi Arabia in high regard. So Riyadh has a tough balancing act to do. Maintain legitimacy as the leader of Islam and establish ties with the Zionist state. It will be a tightrope walk, especially right now when Israel is on an overdrive in Palestine. It's building 1,300 new settlements in the West Bank, a piece of land that does not really belong to Israel. The Israelis captured this land in the 1967 war, and they've controlled it ever since. They now plan to strengthen their control by sending Jewish settlers to the West Bank. 1,300 new residences have been announced. Talks to build 3,000 more are still underway. And that's not all. Israel has also designated 6 Palestinian civil society groups as terror outfits. These groups are reportedly rights organizations. Well, Israel says they're not. Israel accuses them of funneling money to extremists. So it's seizing their assets, arresting their employees, and criminalizing any expression of support. Last we checked, the Saudis were yet to respond to Israel's moves. They haven't said a word, and critics say they won't. They believe that Saudi Arabia has already given up on the Palestinian cause. It has bigger fish to fry, like Iran. Well, whatever be the case, Palestine is on the boil again. Riyadh has chosen not to speak. Neither have the other Arab states who signed the Abraham Accords. Interestingly, it's the US that has expressed, quote-unquote, strong opposition to Israel's plans. West Asia is in for some dramatic days ahead. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.